www.thegreatwhitebrotherhood.org.
A lesson on gravity, attraction. Please note that the term gravity is used because that is the word that people are accustomed to seeing when discussing attraction. This lesson is about attraction, mutual attraction, so, in place of the word gravity, you can think of the word attraction. The word gravity is not what it means by science, and this will be revealed in a future lesson. How is gravity affected by temperature? Gravity is an ever-changing constant. Now, this sounds contradictory, but it is important to realize that gravity is contained within each molecule, which, when they join together, make that vibrational force, the voice of God, if you wish, speak a certain tone, or note, with a certain volume. Each molecule that has a certain frequency, sings a certain note. So, if two or more join together, they both sing with the same note, but it would be twice as loud. As more molecules join with those two, they sing together, with an ever louder volume, the same note. But, if the molecules are forced apart, they each still sing, but separately, like a choir all singing one note, but spread out on a field. The volume would appear to be less, but, taken together, would still create the same volume. So, it matters not if these molecules are clumped together, or spread apart, the music of the spheres still continues at the same volume. So, although to separate an object into a different form might give the impression of a change of gravity, it is the same really. In the case of an object, a rubber ball, for example, when it is heated, the shape changes, and the ball appears to melt. Now, in fact, heat is vibration, as is sound, and, if sufficient vibration is directed at the ball, the external strong gravity is obliged to change shape under the pressure of the weak gravity within the ball, that is itself being disturbed by the atoms flying about, in response to the vibration of the heat, or sound. This does not cause a rupture of the external gravity, but, because of the violent movement of the atoms within the ball, the whole thing collapses. So, shape can be altered by heat, but, once the heating source is removed, and the atoms stop moving so violently, the internal gravity stops being disturbed by the atoms, and the external gravity assumes a new shape, the puddle of rubber, that would now be formed. Providing there was not sufficient force used, so that the ball caught fire, and lost some of its atoms, when the puddle cools, there would be the same number of atoms, the same amount of both weak and strong gravity, remaining. It is only the shape that changes, due to the violent bombardment of the weak gravity, by the excited atoms, which causes the strong gravity coating to change shape. We break off here for a moment to clarify the difference between a molecule and an atom. The difference between a molecule and an atom is that a molecule is a tiny life force of some element, oxygen, hydrogen, etc. An atom is a strong gravity coating that can contain a number of molecules. So, an atom can contain one molecule, or a large number. All the molecules float in weak gravity, but the whole ensemble of molecules is contained within a strong gravitational sphere we call an atom. Atoms are indestructible, as are molecules. As you know, each molecule, each atom, is given a particular frequency, so that it will only be attracted to a certain object, human, animal, vegetable, or mineral. Now, when something catches fire, the molecules and atoms race about, with ever-increasing wildness and speed inside the gravitational sphere of strong gravity, until some bombard the sphere with such force, that they break through the protective barrier of strong gravity and escape into the atmosphere, where they will remain in suspension, until attracted to another object with the same frequency, in the case under discussion, the rubber ball. The sphere of strong gravity immediately tries to seal the break in its protective barrier, to try to retain the integrity of the rest of the atom. If one weighed the ball before and after the conflagration, one would notice a difference in weight, mass. This is because, the rubber ball having less atoms, lacks the same gravitational pull towards Earth, that the original ball had. The more atoms there are in an object, the more molecules, and the more strong and weak gravity there is. It is this change in the amount of gravity that makes the object appear lighter. In the case of wood, if one burns it, the nature of the atoms that constitute the living wood tend to vibrate quickly, and would dissipate into the atmosphere. All that is left over are those atoms that resist becoming excited, and it is those that one sees as ash. All the rest are liberated. Gravity on the moon. If one were to stand on the moon, there would be a slight attraction that scientists attribute to the size of the moon. This is not so. The reason that man is not attracted to the moon, in the degree that he would be on Earth, is because man is not of the same frequency as the moon. However, if he was to travel to the back side of the moon, he would find gravity to be much stronger, as there is a machine there that influences man on Earth, and, to do this, it must contain frequencies similar to both man and the Earth. So, we would say, that if man floated in space close to the moon, he would be attracted to the far side. Gravity in general, editor's notes, verified by the Great White Brotherhood. People say that there is no gravity in space, but they are wrong. The reason that we are not attracted to Saturn's gravity, if we landed there, is because the frequency of our atoms, that make up our body, is not the frequency that is attracted to Saturn's frequency. That is why, we would just float around in space around Saturn, and not go in any specific direction. Our bodies are not attracted to Saturn, nor anything out there, because our body does not have the frequency that matches anything out there. Our body could be very slowly pulled towards the Earth. Added in by the Great White Brotherhood. As we have often said, all atoms that vibrate to a frequency, animal, vegetable, or mineral, would be attracted to that object, but only the atoms of the same vibration. In space, it is very unlikely that atoms of the same frequency as something from Earth would be found. Therefore, although space is full of atoms, none would be attracted to anything found in space, of Earth origin. Further, the types of atoms found in space do not, generally, bear any resemblance to atoms found on Earth. These atoms have been called dark matter. Even the frequencies emitted by the Sun towards Earth, and vice versa, bear no relationship to any being or object from Earth. Also, gravity can answer how the billions, or trillions, of cells in our bodies make up the construct of what we call our bodies, yet, when cells are looked at under a powerful microscope, the cell is sitting there in space, not attached to anything. Gravity answers that question. So, when someone says there is no gravity in space, they are wrong.
Thank you for watching this video lesson. Please visit www.thegreatwhitebrotherhood.org for more lessons and free downloadable books.